Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about the menu which I can open and close, as you can see in here. Open and then nothing moves, and when I close it they start playing, right? So what should I do here is first understand that this node that you have here is pressed on my input action menu. When this happens, I trigger the argument custom event to open this game object, but at the same time I'm switching my player inputs and also set the time scale. When this is 0, the game stops, it doesn't move. When it's 1, it's normalized again. That's why when I open my menu, my game looks like it's paused. So how do I add this menu on here? Well, you come here where it says project settings, and then here input system package, and you add a new button. You can click on here and give it a name, menu key, and then put in here under no binding whatever you want to add. In this case, escape. So I put in here this example of open menu, and then when you go here to your script, hold on, okay, you add a new node into your events input button, and then you want to select the one that you added, open menu, and whatever you do with this, this is a trigger. Then you want to add something like this custom event. If you want to do something like I do, that I use managers, and this is inside my input manager. So where I'm sending this information of menu, I'm sending it here in my UI, where a canvas UI, and then I have my options. And in here, I have my options. I have this custom event menu. When it's open, I set this true, this game object true, options menu, it shows up. And when it's closed, what I do is negate it. So every time I use the tab, it negates the actual state of this game object. What it does is come here into my option menu and disables and enables, disables and enables. And what's inside in this options menu is that I have all my elements, like darken the screen, I have my background, and I have my buttons, and also like for example the music buttons here, and each of these things are inside my option menu that goes off and on when I click on my key to open the menu. So how do you create a menu? Let's see really quick how I did this. The first thing that you want to do is here click and go to UI and say, for example, a new canvas if you have not done it before, and then come here into your scene, and then the canvas you will want it to be let me create it up here like a new canvas, UI canvas, and then you're gonna say menu canvas. Let me disable this so that you can see, and then right click and you put here, for example, an image, and you do whatever you want with this image. You can hook it up with the pivots, or you want to stretch it out so it covers all the screen, and lower your alpha so it looks something like this. And then you right click it and you can add text, for example menu, and set it here all the layouts that you want, right, something like that. And then you continue to add more stuff like to it. For example, let's put here a button. This button could be, for example, quit game, right? And then what I like to do is below my canvas, I create something called container. So whatever I do, I put inside my container. In this way, there's something really simple to do, is just disable container and everything hides, or enable and everything shows. And I don't do that on my main canvas, but instead what I do is add a script. I add a script to my menu canvas, and in this script, for example, menu test, I'm come here and I say, for example, menu container select this as a game object, and I add it, right? So what I do is here is game object active, and I put here my on and off, on and off, on and off, right? So if I want, for example, to have here my player input immediately, instead of using an input manager, I just add this player input, and then I come here into my events, input, button, right? But I don't have to be on play mode. So I'm gonna do that here. Okay. So I have here my stuff. I'm gonna add here gonna add again my new input. Let's see if this works right now. It should, and it does. Open menu, and then every time I click on this, it's gonna do this. But how do I do it like toggle? Well, one thing that I can do is menu open, I create a bool, and what I do is set the bool, and then I'm gonna add a negate node that negates the current state of that, and then does exactly that. So that's what I do. And then the container is added, right? So it looks fine. Whatever I do right is just disable by default that. And let's check this out. The open menu, let's check what the key is. It says is escape, right? So I go into my game, I click on the escape, and it opens and it closes, right? Then the next thing that I want to do is a time scale set, and I say something like this: if, and I use my variable here with the bool. If it's true, then it's going to be 0. If it's false, then it's going to be 1. And in that case, when I open my menu, the game stops, and I should disable the player script so that it doesn't move like that. And then you also use the ESC again, and it opens the game once more. Now, as you can see, it doesn't cover the whole screen, and that's because we forget about something. In the menu, you're gonna come here with screen overlay, and then instead of constant pixel, you put here scale with screen size, and you set your size, in this case like that. And I always like to use match with height, and that's it. Now when you go into your game, let me see, I have to change that out here, scale with screen size. Now I have to go here, my container, and set it stretch, right? And yep, that's it. Now I have a menu that opens and closes, and you have to add the elements inside your menu, and that's about it. Hopefully this video served you well, because that's how you made a menu to be open and closed, and then you add the elements inside.